Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for joining me today on the virtual Lunch and Learn tips where we talk about digital marketing to grow your business. Today is going to be part one of a 5-part series where we're going to discuss breaking down the 5 sections of a successful digital marketing funnel. Now, in some circles, I feel like sales funnels have a negative stereotype because it removes the humanity and the human part of the consumer journey. But I do think it's a good basic understanding where we're starting off at a broader point and then coming to a more singular decisive action point. But I want to talk about, I feel like, many times when you hear the word funnel, many times it's really broken into just 3 basic components. Typically that first area is awareness, where it's a very broad, very general idea about what the consumer is trying to learn about in a general sense. About the product or service that they're about to make a purchase or are thinking of it. And then the second one, which is most commonly known as consideration, where they're doing fact finding and really trying to make a decision on what's going on. Maybe they do some comparisons of vendor versus vendor or product versus product. And then the third part, typically the very point there is the conversion or action point. But I feel like there's 2 pieces of a successful marketing funnel that are often left off when it comes to thinking about a more full circle 360 perspective of your consumer's journey. When we talk about a funnel, and the next step after conversion, I think, and it is talked about to some degree, and that's loyalty, right? When a prospect becomes a client and they have an experience with you and your team and your product and your service, and they demonstrate loyalty, that's a very important component of that journey. And then the 5th component, which many businesses overlook, and that is advocacy. And so what we're going to do in this series, we're going to go through, and today we're going to spend a lot of time talking about and breaking down the awareness section of that customer journey for your digital marketing funnel. So let's dive right into that. So there's 5 things that I want to kind of talk about, and I think it's important for business owners and marketers or division managers, whatever your title is. If you are responsible for growing your business and increasing new business opportunity, the awareness section of the digital marketing funnel is really important. I think one of the very first things you need to have is empathy, digital empathy for your potential clients, the prospects who are coming to you. And what I mean by that is you literally need to understand what is their pain point, what is important to them, what has brought them to come out and begin this search to find a solution for the problem that they have. So by first of all, using the word empathy, I think that starts you off on the right foot, because then you can really try to get inside the mind of that prospect in what they're, why they're beginning this search to begin with. It reminds me again of I'm watching that show Homeland. I've talked about it before, and how the CIA is trying movements of terrorists and secret cells, and they're trying to understand what's the motivating factor. But for you and your business, really understanding and making those observations and empathizing with what their pain point is so important. So once we have the right frame of mind, the right digital sort of glasses to put on, then we can start to make some observations, right? So our observations can really be broken down into sort of three things. So what we want to do is try to replicate or almost reverse engineer, and let's start with search, right? So let's go to Google and let's type in what we think the client would or prospect would type in a general term if they did not know the name of your company, but they are looking for the product type or service area that your company provides. So you want to retrace that search and then look at those. Don't just start clicking right away, but look at the search results. Look at, what are the ads on the top? What is the title of the ad? What is the description of the ad? What's in the map pack? And then in the organic listings, what's there? What are the titles? What are the descriptions of those? And make notes about, what that might mean to a person who because you put on your empathy hat, and you understand that the reason why they're coming there. For instance, it's springtime. I'm a pool owner. My pool was as green as it could be just about probably 40 days ago. And so I was doing all kind of searches on, how to get my pool back in order, pool cleaning tips and things of that nature. So understand, what's important and why they've begun the search, and then figure out what type of search phrases, again, not business names, but phrases they would put in. And then from that, go into social media and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and do searches there and identify hashtags or tags that would come up that would be relevant to, again, that search result. So using hashtags, you can then go into comments that are left on various posts, again, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube, whatever the platform is. When you've identified that topic, look for the comment section, because a lot of times what will happen is people who are in that first section of the digital marketing funnel and they're in that awareness stage, they're going to be asking questions. They're trying to educate themselves because they want to make a good decision, and so they're looking for clarity. They're trying to ask questions, and so looking at those comments and looking for that can provide you insight into what type of content you should create in order to meet the expectation of that awareness stage as they're in that section of the funnel. So if you've deployed digital empathy and if you've made observations for search as well as in social, and looked through the comments, and drilling through the hashtags, then go ahead and take one next step and go ahead and fill out a request form and see what happens next. Now, again, this is no different than secret shopping that's been done for years when people were trying to understand their competitors. But in this case, we're not trying to understand the competitor. We're really trying to understand the experience of the prospect that's in the awareness stage. So once you fill out that form, you want to find out what happens next, because that is going to be what really segues into stage 2, which we're going to talk about in the next episode, which will actually air Monday. And that's going to be the consideration stage of that digital marketing funnel. So we'll pick up on that. And just remember, tomorrow is Friday, and I will resume the episodes where we talk about the book Traction, as I'm joined by Katie Lilly from Lilyfield Accounting Solutions. My name is Michael Wynn. I am the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you tomorrow.